there, welcome. Welcome to Homekeepers. How are you today, my friend? The Bible says this is the day that the Lord has made. And guess what? It is raining like a monsoon here in Florida. And so if you hear a bunch of noise, that's probably what it is. I just looked outside. It looks like a lake out there on the parking lot. But it's still a day the Lord has made. And we need the rain. We thank God for it. And we thank God for you, our regular viewers. A lot of you are just like family to Wanda and me. And for the brand new ones, you're so welcome. We like to just talk about the home. And the home represents the people in the home. You know, it's not the house. But we're convinced you want to keep that house running in such a way that it's friendly, it's warm, it's peaceful, and a lot of good things smelling in the oven. That is so important. And that's what we're doing today. We're doing 2 recipes today. This is your day. I tell you, I have a friend here. Her name is Sharon, and I'm sure that a lot of you have seen her on TV and also maybe heard her husband, Ted Brower, who really has been on so many television, radio stations talking about eating the way God said you should and about taking care of your body. Well, Sharon has come out with her own cookbook here, Healthy Country Cooking. And anybody who doesn't love good country cooking, I don't think I could be your friend, actually. And to be able to come up with it in a healthy manner is really amazing, because a lot of times country cooking is just as unhealthy as it gets. So we're going to offer you this book for a gift of $25. That covers everything, covers shipping and handling. And you can order it by credit card by calling 1-800-229-0059 or write to me at Homekeepers, Post Office Box 6922, Clearwater, Florida 33758, and we'll get out to you this healthy country cooking. And now I've joined Sharon over here. Welcome to Homekeepers.
Hey, I gotta have a hug.
Yeah, and we're going to do 2 recipes out of this today.
Yes.
This is a first for us, I think, is to do more than 1 recipe. So this is zucchini
And rice casserole.
And rice.
And what I found is when children are introduced to a new recipe, you really don't want to tell them what the ingredients are. So this is like a layering recipe. It's very easy. You can make it ahead of time before you go to work. And you know, I know a lot of you don't have time to cook, but if I could just encourage you, if anything else, take a little more time, make it a priority to start cooking at home. Because number one, you spend that quality time with your children. Try and have several meals a night where all of you actually sit down at the table, which is unheard of today. And all you have to do is maybe change your schedule around and say no to a few other things, but make your family time, even if it's just you and your husband or your boyfriend. But it's just so awesome what happens when you're sitting around the table eating.
I was talking to some really prominent person the other day whose name has slipped my mind, that they had mandatory, you know, as kids, teenagers, they take on their own life.
That's right.
But they had mandatory times, 2 or 3 nights a week where the family had to be
I like
together.
that. I like that.
Now this is when I looked at this, I thought this is going to be great for a church supper.
That's right.
And also, if you're a vegetarian, this is your perfect entree right here.
Right. Now, it does have a little dairy, but most vegetarians can handle dairy, you know, a little bit like that. But now we have a family of 6, and so when I make something like this, I usually make 2 batches because it's always gone so fast. But what you want to do is you want to get you a 13 by 9 dish, and I usually just put a little olive oil in the bottom because you don't want it sticking, and we're going to be putting rice in the bottom to start out with. And I use whole grain brown rice because it still has the bran layer. It has a lot of the nutrients still involved, the B vitamins. And let me say one thing about B vitamins, Arthelene. So many people come to me and they say, oh, I've got an asthma problem, or I've had asthma since I was a child. Do you know, just by getting on certain B vitamins like a B complex and B6, that every single time in our office when we had our clinic, the asthma was totally healed. Because it's not that you have a problem with asthma, you have a problem with a B vitamin deficiency. And most of your problems today can be taken care of by just giving your body the right nutrients.
Yeah,
and brown rice is important.
I love rice, no problem. I could eat this meal just fine.
Well, what we're going to do here is we are going to just start by layering it, and I'm just going to put the rice in the bottom. This is so easy, your children can help. And I have 4 children. 3 of them love to help me in the kitchen. I have, well, he's not a teenager, he just turned 20. But they love just helping me in the kitchen, and you want to pack it down. In my book, Healthy Country Cooking, Arthelene, I'm very flexible. Like I may say use a cup of this. It doesn't matter if you really change the recipe. You need you need to just do kind of what you want to do. What you're also going to do is you're going to layer the zucchini, and for time reasons I'm just going to kind of put it on there, but normally you just want to layer them row and row and row, just like that. Here, you want to help me? Let's just. And zucchini is a vegetable that I have in the past had trouble with my children eating. And I found with this recipe, they like to eat it. So if you can change the recipe and use some ingredients that they don't like and get them to eat it, you've got a victory there.
You can fool them a lot.
Yeah, you can.
What's the next layer you put on there?
Okay, the next layer is the onions. We'll put the onions on top.
And
that's probably enough zucchini. I'm going to put it over there.
Our little busy bee worker, Wanda, prepared all this.
Oh, I owe you, Wanda, for this one. This saved me so much time. Because when I do my cooking shows, you know, you have to make one ahead.
Oh, yeah.
And then, and then you want to go ahead and put your, let's see, I think we're going to put the cheese on next, on top of the onions. And you can use white cheddar, you can, any cheese you like, really, it doesn't really matter. Again, these recipes are very flexible. And you know, healthy country cooking is kind of an oxymoron, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I was born in Texas, I was raised in England, and then I grew up in the South. My grandmother and my mother taught me how to cook, Southern cooks, and I've had to change all the recipes I grew up with.
You didn't learn much about cooking in England, did you?
No, I did. I learned how to drink tea.
Oh,
and
see, my mom was born in England.
Oh, wow.
And we ate in order to live in my house.
Yeah.
Cooking wasn't really a big thing. Then I married a man from Arkansas.
Oh, my goodness.
And they lived in order to eat. And man, did I enjoy, you know, black-eyed peas, never heard of such a thing, fried okra, all that stuff, just to die for. Then this?
Yeah, we're going to go ahead and put just a little salt and pepper to taste.
Okay.
And just, you know, I like putting it on the tomatoes because have you ever had tomatoes where they just...
And isn't it pretty?
Flavor.
Oh, I love
beautiful.
that color.
It's beautiful. And then a little bit of pepper. Kind of reminds me of the old BLT, but you leave off the bacon.
Yeah, there you go.
But
I know I will love this, and I'll tell you why, because it's got everything in it I like.
Well, you need to try some, and then I'm just going to go ahead and put the sour cream on top. Now you're going to go ahead and have your oven set at 350 degrees, and we're going to put it in the oven, 30 to 40 minutes. It just depends on your oven, and you definitely want the cheese to be melted when you take it out. So.
Did you make up the recipes in this book?
Yes.
Now I did
have
it's a big book.
Now some of the recipes I did have some little old ladies give me some of their favorites from years. Like these were passed down from generation to generation because, you know, they had a lot of ham ingredients in, a lot of pork, a lot of sugar. Do you like that, Arthelene?
It's hearty, you know. It's going to stick to your ribs. Let me tell you.
It's not going to be a casserole that you're going to.
And like I said, if you are vegetarian, this is for you. This is an entree, and it's called zucchini and rice. Yes, it looks like ours. Zucchini and rice casserole, and I'm going to put the information up on the screen if you'd like to order this recipe. And then I'm going to talk to Sharon a little bit, and then we're going to come back and make a pie. You ever heard of a healthy pie? I haven't, but we'll see. Stay with us.
If you would like a copy of today's recipe, please send your request along with a gift of $5 or more to Homekeepers, P.O. Box 6922, Clearwater, Florida 33758.
Well, Sharon Brower and I are going to sit down for a second and talk, and then we're going to go fix a pie that's got chocolate in it, and it looks so delicious, but it's basically healthy, right? Not healthy, but not too bad.
That's what people say, you know, in your cookbook is everything healthy. I wouldn't say it was healthy, but it's not bad for you. In other words, what we've done is we've taken all the bad ingredients out and I've replaced it with better ingredients. In other words, we tweak it.
Yeah, there's kind of a pattern probably that there's a formula that you've devised and you follow it.
That's right,
that's basically what the book's all about. Some health programs are so severe that
Arthelene, I feel for the people today because people are so confused and they want answers. They want answers for everything. And when health comes around, they even need more health answers because it's so confusing. Do this, do that, this diet, that diet. I don't believe in diets. I believe in a lifestyle change. And really it's simple, Arthelene. There's just a few things that you can do and you can increase your health. You can have better health. And especially today as women, we've got so much on us to keep a home, maybe to have a job outside the home or a job in the home. And I know a job in the home is just as much as any other job because I'm home a lot too.
Yeah. The one thing I think probably the viewers want to know, and that is how do you keep your children on track? Now, your husband was saying that your children have never had a cavity and just had practically perfect, blessed health. How do you cope with the socialization? Because food is so much part of our social life.
That's right.
And what do your kids do when everybody else goes to McDonald's?
Well, the thing is, what you have to realize is you are pretty much going to have sack lunches. They have to take their lunch to school. I've just realized that's part of my life now. But it's helping them slowly change over. For instance, the first thing, don't give them sodas. Get them used to not drinking sodas. I would never give a child sodas, and we've talked about that earlier. The bone density, it takes calcium out of the bones. And if your children are sodas, maybe you could switch them to diluted juices and slowly wean them off that because juices are very high in sugar too. Another thing, if you start them on water, make sure it's a good tasting water. Don't just give them water out of the tap. That's just as bad.
I think distilled water tastes good. That's
or the RO, but make sure that you get it either from a machine or not that something's been sitting in plastic for a long time because it will have a plastic taste. But another thing you can do is you can get fresh lemons and squeeze them in a pitcher of water, good water, and then sweeten it with stevia. Now most things don't taste really good sweetened with stevia, but lemonade tastes great.
Does
and
it?
most kids love lemonade.
I tried that once. Life's too short for this.
No. I know people want to sweeten it with their coffee and stuff, and it's really bad. But stevia tastes really good in lemonade, and our children love it.
But also, you got to remember that you don't let the inmates run the asylum, and so you don't have those things in your home.
That's a good point. Be an example to your children.
I was raised where they couldn't afford potato chips and ice cream and stuff and store-bought cookies, and I thought I was deprived, and now I know I was totally blessed.
You were, and that's such a good point. Don't bring it in your house.
Don't bring it in the
house. Your children cannot go to the grocery store and drive themselves in the car to buy it. You're bringing it home. If you don't bring it home, you're not going to be tempted to eat it. Let's say we see a commercial on TV and it has ice cream and chocolate sauce and all that, which every now and then that's fine, but let's say you want it that night. You're going to have to get dressed, get in the car, and go get it if it's not in your freezer. So only for special occasions.
Yeah, it's kind of a no-brainer. I want to talk about women's things, but first of all, how do you plan your meals? When I was a young wife and the kids and all, I would basically go to the grocery store about once a week, and I'd plan out, mainly your night meals and things.
That's true.
How do you do it?
I wish I was more organized. I'm a very spontaneous person, and for instance, my recipes in the cookbook, they're very flexible, and you can change them, add, take away, because people don't want to be put in a box. So what I do is I kind of have an idea of what I want to make ahead of time, maybe get a few ingredients, but there's certain key ingredients you can keep in your pantry and your refrigerator to make life easy, and it makes preparation a lot quicker too.
Yeah, and I think about the economics right now, and I was telling Wanda today before these programs, I couldn't believe that this kind of bread I always like has gone up $1 in just a few days, a loaf of bread. And so this is where you sit down and you be a little more savvy and you plan ahead and do more things like we just did. You don't have to have meat at every meal.
That's right, that's right.
When these times come, you don't whine, you just adjust.
But Arthelene, the money is in the junk food, sodas, chips, all the stuff that really are high in calories, zero nutrition. Those, if you eliminate those from your diet, you're going to have the extra money to buy healthier foods for your family.
You're right about that. In the time we have left, how do women slow down the aging process? Please tell me.
people ask me that all the time, and I'm not saying this in a boasting way, but I've been stopped so many times and commented on my complexion, the texture of my skin.
It's gorgeous.
Oh, thank you. It's very simple, but it's not something that everybody wants to do. Number one, you've got to drink at least 6 to 8 glasses of water every single day. You've got to slowly get the sugar out of your diet. Every now and then I'll splurge, but it may be once a week. I'll give myself once a week to splurge. And the last and most important thing is you've got to take a high quality cod liver oil every single day. Now we get ours from Norway. We have a factory over there where the vitamin A and the vitamin D are naturally occurring in the cod liver oil. They're not added synthetically, so your body drinks it. My fine lines have disappeared. My complexion, I don't have any breakouts. It's phenomenal.
Why cod liver oil?
Well, my spinal stenosis. Cod liver oil this is what's so neat. I get so excited talking about this product. It is so important for an inflammatory agent. You know, people take inflammatory medications and
for
stuff.
a lot of things.
Yes, the cod liver oil acts as an inflammatory agent. It works great for that. It helps the body to absorb calcium. When you do get calcium in your diet, it helps increase the bone density. Antidepressants. Women are so some of the biggest contributors to antidepressants, taking antidepressants. And, you know, the problem is we get all these calls. My son committed suicide. I found my son hanging in his room the other day. He hung himself. You know, these drugs are causing depression and suicide.
Yeah.
You don't have to do that. What you can do is get on the cod liver oil, and the cod liver oil feeds the brain because our brain has got so much
fat in it. How much of it do you take?
I take about 2 tablespoons a day. Now, if you don't want to do that, that's fine. That's what I take. It makes me feel really good. I don't have any problems when I take that. We have cinnamon, mint, and orange flavor. And we've got one that works. I've taken inferior ones when we've been out of the country, and they do not work because it's unfiltered, unadulterated cod liver oil. And I know.
A fountain of knowledge.
I love it.
Yeah, we're running out of time.
We gotta go to the kitchen.
We're going to go
Okay.
back and fix what do you call this?
This is a chocolate pecan pie. Now, I don't recommend eating chocolate all the time, and I used to be addicted to chocolate. I was so addicted to chocolate, Arthelene, that do you remember Debbie Fields, Mrs. Fields cookies?
Yeah.
Well, I personally knew her. We'd been to her home and had dinner when we were on the speaking circuit. And I remember one time we were speaking with her, and she brought all the speakers a big box of her brownies. Well, she uses butter in them, and I thought, well, there's no margarine, no hydrogenated oils. These are really good brownies. We brought them home, and I was so out of control and so addicted to chocolate, I ate over half the box, ended up with a yeast infection.
That made you happy, didn't it?
True confessions here. But so chocolate in moderation, every now and then, but don't eat it so much where you're so addicted to it.
Yeah.
This recipe's fun, it's easy. First, we're going to get a pre-made whole wheat 9-inch pie shell. Now, I found a company that uses butter in their whole wheat pie shell. Where are we? Over here now.
Yeah.
And it's a good pie shell. It's quick. I know you don't have time to get the flour and make your pie shells and roll them out.
And they're so good, why bother?
Yeah, they're really great. So what we want to start out with is we're going to crack our eggs, I think, right over here. And you always want to crack your eggs one at a time because you never know if you're going to get a bad egg. Have you ever done that? You always.
Oh, I see what you're doing. Very smart.
Put them in there.
Okay, you keep talking to the folks because I want to get something out of the cupboard.
Okay, now what you want to do is just whisk your eggs real quick. And I suggest you spend a little extra money and get yard eggs because they don't have the hormones, antibiotics, and steroids in the eggs.
Where do you get yard eggs?
You can get them at your regular grocery store.
Yeah.
They're really starting to get good about that. Now, what you can do is go ahead and take about 1/2 cup of unbleached flour, and you're just going to mix it in there with your eggs. And you want to start stirring that, Arthelene? Yep. Thank you so much. It's nice to have some help here. Okay, then we're going to take our semi-sweet chocolate chips and our pecans and put them in last. We're going to add about, a teaspoon of vanilla.
Yeah, and I'm going to ask our director to put the information up on this book where we got this recipe, and also the one at the beginning of the program, the zucchini and rice casserole. And you'll also find this recipe in that cookbook. It's called Healthy Country Cooking. Now, for that gift of $25 to the program, and that's all. No shipping and handling and all that. I was talking at the top of the program about the thunder. I don't know if they hear it, but
I like it. It's
we
just
might
a nice
need
touch.
a boat tonight to go home.
This is about half a cup of fructose. Now, fructose is fruit sugar. It's not as bad for you as white sugar. You want to go ahead and stir that in there. But what I found is agave. Agave sweetener, where's the label there? The agave sweetener is one of the best sweeteners I've ever used. Now, it is in a liquid form. It's like honey, but it's a little runnier than honey, but it is great. And it also has a low glycemic index, meaning that it doesn't cause your sugars to rise. Diabetics can use it. It's awesome. So you could use that in here if you wanted to, but we're going to use the fructose today because that's what the recipe
Yeah, I want to
calls
taste.
for.
Go ahead with what you're doing. I want to taste the fructose.
Okay. Oh yeah. Now I want you to taste the agave. Taste this. Taste just a little bit of this.
That's good.
This is
tastes
really
just like sugar.
This has got an incredible flavor to it. Try that. I love it. I put it in everything. It's great in tea, lemonade. Isn't that good?
Oh, I just drink it like that.
I know, I could too. Okay, next we want to put in the melted butter and stir that in till it just mix nice. This is really easy. Your children can help you. And I've got 4 children. 3 of my children help me in the kitchen a lot, and they always want to help me. So I try and include them any way I can.
I think it's really a good thing.
You know, I'm all about making memories. And in my cookbook, I have a whole section on making memories. I even took pictures of birthday cakes and stuff because take time on the children's birthdays to make a homemade cake. Okay, these are about 1½ cup of pecans. And then I think we have
I'll let you take that,
a cup of chocolate chips.
Because I'm going to show the folks the finished product.
Okay. Now what you can do, Arthelene, is you can use chopped macadamia nuts instead of pecans, which is just as good if you prefer. Again, this is not going to be your healthiest recipe, but what I found when you make something like this, make sure you either have a large family or you're having company that night, and then you don't eat the whole pie.
Yeah.
Because I would have a tendency to want to eat the whole pie.
I made a mess here, but I want to taste it.
Okay.
We're going to have a fork out here. Well, when you do things like this, if you don't do them all the time, they really become special. That's
right. And children, if you don't do this all the time, that's such a good point. My children get so excited when we have a dessert. Now, if we had it every night, they would say, you know, what's for dessert, Mom? And I'd say, okay, I'm having it too often if they start asking me that. And we'll stick this in the oven, Arthelene. Is it good?
It is wonderful.
And here we go. Is it the bottom or the top? Bottom. Stick that in.
Oh, you got to have this one. And you can see how easy it was.
Oh, quick and easy.
Just listen to those eggs make it raise up real nice. It's hearty. Good cup of tea with that.
No hydrogenated oil. You know, we use real butter. Butter is better than margarine, by the way. You don't want to use margarine.
Well, that's good news for me. Now, listen, if you order either of these recipes, you'll get both of them. You'll get both of the recipes, the zucchini rice casserole, and also this, what do you call this, chocolate chip pie? Chocolate pecan pie.
Or macadamias,
yeah, we'll send them to
whatever you want to use.
And we'll be glad to send them to you. And don't forget that good cookbook. Now, stay with me. I have a couple things to say before we have to say goodbye.
Arthelene would like you to keep the following information handy. You may contact Homekeepers by writing P.O. Box 6922, Clearwater, Florida 33758. Remember, we always enjoy hearing from our viewers, and we thank you for your support.
Okay, I want to remind you again of the book that we used for those 2 recipes, Healthy Country Cooking. And Sharon Brower is the author, and she has really substituted things that are not good for you for things that are not that bad or even much healthier for you. We'll send you the book for $25. And I really want to encourage you, even if you do not have children at home anymore, if you're like me, I still try to eat healthy and take good care of this temple that the Lord gave us. And I've got great-grandchildren. I'm feeling great. So it really pays to get the knowledge and then put the knowledge to use. I was thinking as I was talking to Sharon how great it is that God created food. I mean, think of all the options God had in creating the heavens and earth, creating the people. But he had to know that food would really bring us together. And whether it's in a setting at the church, at a church supper. And I think it's interesting that so many of our big churches today, newer buildings, they actually have restaurants in the lobby. Some people think that's terrible. I think it's wonderful because it promotes fellowship, and they're usually not open during the church service and all, but food just brings people together, and it's supposed to bring your family together as well. And one thing, when I get to heaven, I always thought, I hope there's some manna up there. I want to taste that. I want to know what it was like, because no matter what people were going through here on earth, God supplied the food. And he used food in his greatest miracles to take a couple fish and some loaves of bread and feed 5,000 men, plus the women and children who were there. So it's really, really important. And like anything, really like anything that God has that's good, Satan comes in and tries to pervert it. And we've really had our food messed with in America, with our animals getting all the hormones and things and all the refined products. But I hope on this program that we can bring you back a little closer to the way things should have been. So please remember that food it means fellowship. It's not fun to eat by yourself at all. I've had to travel a lot by myself, and the way I handle it, I have a book with me to read, but eating by yourself is no fun. But promote that fellowship. The Bible tells us in Proverbs 31 about that virtuous woman, that she watches over the affairs of her household. It's like it's engraved across my brain, watching over the affairs of her household. She knew what was going on. She was prepared for everything. I think she's that ideal, and we should try to be a little bit more like her in all of our ways. Hey, out of time. Join me next time. No higher calling than that of a homekeeper. God bless you.
If you would like a video copy of today's Homekeepers program for just $19.95, call 1-800-229-0059 for credit card orders, or send a gift of at least $19.95 to Homekeepers, P.O. Box 6922, Clearwater, Florida 33758. Be sure to note the program number which appears on your screen.